This is Pashas Baaloscha. At the end of the Parsha, Miriam and Aaron say things that should not have been said about Moshe Rabbeinu. And then the Torah throws in a biographical hesped that Moshe Rabbeinu was humble. Okay? The Torah mentioned Moshe Rabbeinu numerous times before and didn't feel the need to throw in, adjectives to describe his humility. Why is that being mentioned over here in conjunction with the evil talk that was said about him? So we know the famous word, probably the Chofetz Chaim said, that because even though Moshe Rabbeinu was honored, it didn't bother him, he didn't care, but still he got punished. All the more so if you say things about someone that could affect his life, how terrible it is. Speaking of Kal V'chomer, the Shabbat Rav says a fascinating pshat to answer this question, and that's as follows: that Miriam and Aaron had a problem with the fact that Moshe Rabbeinu separated; he was no longer intimate with his wife. Now, Moshe Rabbeinu had a good reason for that. He made a Kal V'chomer. That the Gemara in Shabbos tells us, what was the Kal V'chomer? When the Jewish people received the Torah, it was a one-time thing. They didn't have Mammon Asina every other day. Well, how much cheesecake can we eat? Right? Mammon Asina was a one-time event, right? And they were Polish. The Gemara tells us that Hashem told them 3 days they have to abstain from relations with the wife. Okay, and that was a one-time event. But I speak to Kosh Baruch all the time. So for sure I have to be Polish from my wife. That was their cheshbon. Miriam and Aaron didn't like it. Okay. But what do you mean? You can ask a question on the Kal V'chomer, Moshe Rabbeinu's Kal V'chomer. Why? The Klal Yisrael had to separate from their spouses because on their level they weren't able to listen and to understand and to communicate with Hashem without this extra this extra spiritual level that they had to be on. But Moshe Rabbeinu, he was on such a high level. Okay? Haguf Haraya, because he spoke to Hashem all the time. Moshe Rabbeinu was able to speak to Hashem all the time, and therefore maybe he didn't need to be Parish Meishto. Klal Yisrael, who didn't speak to Hashem all the time, they had to be separate to be an extra level of holiness. But Moshe Rabbeinu didn't need that. Harai, he spoke to Hashem all the time. Therefore, the Torah says that Moshe Rabbeinu was enough. Moshe Rabbeinu was enough. He was humble. He didn't say this long.